No. All right, we are live. We are on. Agute Woch. Today is 38 days in the Omer. A kid came over to my son and said that because of the shir that we announced the Omer, we saved him. He completely forgot about it. So if it's just one kid, here, Mayor, turn the thing, do it by the, okay. Today, today's shir is sponsored by our very good friend who's on Zoom every single day. He's one of the first people on. You'll notice him by his wacky backgrounds, but he promises from now on, no background tonight. Avi Mandelbaum, Yishkoyach, for sponsoring Lilu Nishmas' grandfather, Mordechai Tzvi ben Aaron. Sponsored in memory of Harold Mandelbaum on the occasion of his 13th yahrzeit by Aaron and Naomi Mandelbaum and Francis Mandelbaum, Avi Mandelbaum's parents and grandmother. Here it is, if you can see. Very good. I did say Kaddish. I remembered to say Kaddish. I had to schlep that paper because I didn't have my other paper. I took your whole email. See, it's all folded nicely. Let's see if I can read a little bit from this. This is a whole Megillah. We like Megillahs for Motzei Shabbos, but this is like a double. His paternal grandfather, Mordechai Tzvi ben Aaron, Harold Mandelbaum, was born in Connecticut on a farm in the 20s. Kitzer, they went through a lot of hardship. They didn't have money. They weren't so from. There were 3 brothers. And then they sent his father to day school. And some tzaddik, what's his name, Rabbi Saul Zucker, his dad, took time every day to tutor his father Hebrew. By 3rd grade, his father brought his parents back to tshuva, and Bekitzer, I can't, I'm sorry, Avi, it's too long. Oh, this is very cool. His grandparents were co-signers on the first mortgage of a building for the Young Israel of Wavecrest and Bayswater. I'm pretty sure I davened there many times, if that's the same, what do you call it? Young Israel of Wavecrest. It's like a 2-story house. I think that's the one. They couldn't afford it, but the community needed it, so they did it anyways. And he's a structural ironworker, and he did all the work in the shul. Today, 13 years after his ptira, his legacy is 3 children, 3 grandchildren. My father learns weekly with my uncle, and have finished about 1/3 of Shas that way. Both my grandfather's son of Baltikeya. Oh, Avi is the famous Baltikeya. Takes a lot of pride in it. The halacha says the requirement for Baltikeya is to be someone respected in the community. I think this says a lot about the job my grandparents did. With that, I will now go eat breakfast, head back to sleep. He works late, and he's always there and what is he famous for, Avi Mandelbaum? Avi, we're having soup for dinner tonight, Mandelbaum. All right, Yishkoyach Avi, thanks for the sponsorship. Let's see what else we have here. It's Motzei Shabbos. We got a very, very important daf, one of these Shas dafim that's good for all of Shas. It's great. It's great to understand and remember today's daf. He's not, by the way, Akiva Shalom for Dunsky is not the only Detroiter who listens. There's a guy by the name of Benny Russell who listens. He's also representative. Here, from Hill Abram. Oh, here's another Megillah. Let's see if I can read the whole thing. It's completely true that whenever I say something, you banter me, usually with humorous, sharp retort. In case some unknowing bystander may feel it necessary to write you an email about something else you're doing wrong, let me state clearly, yes, I'm very proud to have been here almost from the start. So Hillel has been with us. I remember the day he came was on Shavuos 2 years ago. And yes, I really enjoy the retorts and enjoy the camaraderie and the special group of people in the shir. For those who doubt it, they were obviously never there in the days where I had a platform and the ability to ask questions, many questions. Yes, I remember those days, many questions. And I guess he's trying to hint that somebody should unleash his mic. So the guy in charge of the mic, please unleash it. Let him go. Let him loose. Oh, he's unleashed? Oh my gosh, here he is. He actually has 2 Zoom accounts. I don't know why. Sometimes he goes, here he is on top of my screen, Hillel Abrams. For those who are wondering why they aren't allowed admin privileges, I certainly know why I haven't been given admin privileges on Zoom. He understands it. The above is a side point to what I really want to say. That is, thank you for making the 8-minute daf on Daf Samach Beis before the Shir. There are a couple more since Samach Beis, but it's really difficult. We almost got there. We almost did it before Shabbos, and we just fell short. I know Daf Yomi is for you to. Now just as an incentive, so that you continue, I'm thinking of suggesting to Gary that any day the 8-minute Shir is not ready before the Shir, they will unmute me, Hillel Abrams, for the duration of that Shir. I like that. You hear, it's a threat. Okay, so until now I thought that Hillel was just unaware of all his questions and everything. Now he's aware. Hey, see, look at him. He's laughing from ear to ear. He knows what he's doing. He's on it. It's clear that given the right incentive, you perform miracles. Okay, thank you. Eli, the Shir is the mainstay and the anchor of my life. If for some reason I don't make it this Shir, my day seems incomplete. Only Torah has the ability to make us happy when we're done with the Shir. Most other fun things in life are fun for the moment, but immediately after that, the feeling is, why can't I have more? And it's not uplifting. Torah is like chesed. It's deeply fulfilling in my life. And thank you for bringing Torah learning back to my life. By the way, I have an insatiable need to ask questions. I didn't notice that. Thanks, Hillel. Yishkoyach for pointing all the stuff out. Bivracha Hillel Abraham from across the road. Across the road is referring to a shtach that his brother was on the other day and his brother lives in Australia, and I said that his brother is on more often than Hillel, the guy that lives across the road. So I guess that's what it was. Should we start share? You got a long one today. Okay. Okay, tomorrow we're going to do a really, really nice email. Bring your tissues. Okay, fine. Seder, let's go. We'll have to get to all these a different time. Today is Daf Ayin Aleph, and we are starting from Ayin Amud Beis, 7 lines from the bottom, Omar Rava. Kotzar v'tochan. So, I just want to remind the Olam. Today, what's going on? Everything is good on YouTube? What happened? Huh? Oh my gosh. It's going to start ringing, you think? Okay, fine. Thanks, y'all. It's just important to, if you're thinking about eating Malav Malka while we're doing the shir, it's one of these dafim that if you remember this daf and the yisoidus on this daf are great for all of Shas. So it's really a good idea to try to memorize this daf and try to internalize the concepts. Omar Rava, Kotzar v'tochan kegregeres b'shigigas Shabbos. So just to make this easy, we're gonna just focus on the shogig of this line. There's a shogig of Shabbos and shogig of Malacha, right? So if we recall, back in the Mishnah there was 3 rules. Rule number 2 was that a person forgot that today is Shabbos. And if that's what you do, if you forget that it's Shabbos, you bring one carbon on the entire Shabbos. Rule number 3 is if you forget the Malacha. You know that today is Shabbos, you forget the Malacha. So then you have to bring a carbon for each and every carbon, for each and every Malacha. Made a chart here to explain the sugya. Don't be so confused by this. It's pretty simple. Now, if you have a Shigiga Shabbos, you forgot that today is Shabbos, and you did two malachas. What do you chayiv? 1 carbon. That's why this is in a box. Kotzar tochan. It's 1 carbon. If you did shigigas malachas, right? Because it's 1 mistake, 1 shogig, you bring 1 carbon, even though it's 2 malachas. That's because it's shigigas Shabbos. You forgot that it's Shabbos. If you forgot that the malacha is asur, you forgot that the ktsira is asur, that's by itself. You bring 1 carbon. And then if you forgot that the tchina is asur, he's just going to put it out. Then you bring another carbon. Says the Gemara, a very simple concept. There's a new idea that we'd never learned yet in Shas called greira. To drag something, to pull something with you. Wow, we're at 100 participants. I don't know why. We could go over that, but maybe that's just a lucky number. It's 100. So, if a person had a yediyah, I'll show you this other chart that I did. This for later. Avi, you can take it off for a second, just so I could show this chart. Well, you can see this chart if you're watching me in the little corner. There's actually 4 steps. Helem means that in one awareness. So if I commit different melachas, I did a ktsira, a tchina, a bayr, whatever I did, all in one awareness. I wasn't aware. I was not aware. So it's one awareness. I did ktsira, and then another ktsira, and then another ktsira. I did 5 ktsiras. Ktsira means to reap the field like we had yesterday, to reap, to cut the wheat. If I did 5 of them in one awareness, every hour I reaped again, and again I reaped. I only bring 1 carbon. Why? Because there's 1 helem. Then there's a concept called yediyah. When I found out that what I did was wrong, okay? That makes a pause. That makes a stop. Do you connect now? If I do another ktsira after that yediyah, I found out that I'm not allowed to somebody, hey, what are you doing? Somebody yelled at me. Why are you on your tractor on Shabbos? It's also to do ktsira. Ooh, I didn't know. If I do it afterwards, another carbon, maybe. We'll see. Then it's called something hafrasha. Hafrasha means that I designated an animal for that aveira. So let's say it was over a period of 2 months. I never knew that ktsira was asr. I never knew you're not allowed to reap on Shabbos. I was under the impression you're allowed to reap on Shabbos because it's food. And food you're allowed to cut off the ground. Whatever my mistake was. And then somebody told me on Sunday that ktsira is asr. So I said, okay, I'll bring a carbon. I was mafresh a carbon. I looked at that carbon, I said, carbon by the name of Mando, whatever the name is, that's my carbon, that's my thing. And then I did a ktsira again. I completely forgot what I was doing and I did ktsira again. Now I have to bring another carbon because I was already mafresh, already designated. And then finally, you have the final step called kapara. According to everybody, once I shech the animal, I have a kapara because I shechted the animal, that's a whole nother, whatever you want to call it. Then after that, then if I do ktsira again, of course I have to bring another carbon. It's all over. I already have a kapara. Okay, that's the next sugya. We'll talk about that. But right over here, if in one helem, let's go back to step number 1. In one helem, what's helem? Helem is an awareness. So one awareness, I did 2 ktsiras. But check this out. It's a very interesting sugya. The first one I did was that I forgot that it's Shabbos. And I did ktsira. The second ktsira that I did, this guy right over here, I forgot that ktsira is asr. So I performed 2 melachas called ktsira, in one awareness, in one not knowing that what I'm doing is asr. And then it was noida. Step 2, right over here, yediyah. You see in blue, yediyah. I had an awareness. In other words, I had an awareness, I stopped my awareness. I found out that ktsira is asr. When did I find out? So, when did I have an awareness? I had an awareness that this ktsira from the first 2 things I've done, that's wrong. The halacha is that the ktsira, since those 2 ktsiras happen in one awareness, and I became aware, noida, I became aware that the first ktsira is asr, these 2 go together. My carbon on the first one gives me a kapara on the second one. Why? Because it was within one awareness. We're going to see later on that somebody argues on that. But both Abaye and Rav agree to this idea that these 2 ktsiras are connected. Yes, one happened with the Shigig Shabbos. I forgot that it's Shabbos. The second one happened, I forgot that the Malacha is Asr. But they both happen within one awareness. And one awareness, one carbon works on one awareness. Now what happens? We said before, I could do 39 malachas in a Shabbos. If I forgot that it's Shabbos, I only bring 1 carbon. So in our case, he did 2 malachas. He did ktsira tchina. He reaped it and then he ground it. How many karbanos does he bring? 1. So if I knew about ktsira, I don't even have to know about tchina. All I need to know about is ktsira. I found out that today is Shabbos and I did ktsira. My carbon that I bring on ktsira works for tchina. Why? Because it happened within that one avera of Shabbos, forgetting about Shabbos. Says the Gemara, amazing concept. Once my carbon that works on Ktsira and Tchina, now I go downwards. So the Tchina that I did when I forgot the Malacha, that the Malacha is Tchina Zaser, doesn't need a kapara. So very interesting. I bring one carbon for 4 malachas that I did wrong. The malacha of Ktsira goes together with Ktsira. The malacha of Tchina goes together with malacha of Tchina. But the malacha of Tchina goes together with the top Ktsira. It goes like this. I bring a carbon for Ktsira, but that includes also Tchina. And Tchina, no, one carbon on Ktsira. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're talking about the idea is over here. And then once the idea is over here, I bring a carbon for my Ktsira. That also works for my Tchina. Not Tchina and a falafel, but Tchina like to grind. And these two just automatically pick up everything with them. Why? Because it's in one awareness. These 4 malachas happen in one awareness. Where does it not work? It doesn't work if my first idea was on the bottom Ktsira. On the Ktsira of malachas. Why? In that case, this is machlokes. Either I could get 3 in, or according to Abaya, I could get all 4 going this way. I travel. I bring a carbon on this Ktsira. There's no connection between Ktsira and Tchina because, why? Because they're separate malachas. And the shagig was that I forgot each malacha. So anyways, regardless, I would have to bring a carbon for this and then a carbon for that. But check out this halacha according to Abaya. I bring a carbon on the bottom Ktsira. It travels upwards to the top Ktsira. Why? Because they were done in one awareness. Once I'm in the top Ktsira, the top Ktsira and top Tchina go together. According to Rava, it stops right over here. There's no connection downwards. According to Abaya, it travels all the way down here. Once again, I bring one carbon and I knock out all 4 malachas according to Abaya. Let's see inside. Katzar v'tochen ki gregeres b'shigiga Shabbos. Where's my thingy? Okay, no, not today. We'll have to use something else. So, shigiga, just remember the word shogeg of Shabbos. He forgot that it's Shabbos, the top case in the chart. Uzadai melachos. Ignore that. He did the melachos on purpose, meaning his aveira was that he forgot that it's Shabbos. V'chazar v'katzar v'tachan ki gregeres. Gregeres is just the shear. How much in all malachas and shas? How much do you have to do? Dried fig, gregeres. Okay, don't let that bog you down either. The point is, v'chazar v'katzar v'tachan ki gregeres b'zadin Shabbos v'shigas malachas. Focus on the word shagig. What was the shagig in the second case? The malachas. So the first case is he did ksir tchino forgetting Shabbos. Second case is he did ksir tchino, he forgot that the malachas also. His idea was on the top, that he forgot that it's Shabbos. And then afterwards he remembered over here that he did these 2 guys. Now we're holding Daf Ayin Aleph Amud Aleph. Ktsira goyreres ktsira. Rashi says later on, this is not exact. You don't have to come on to the ktsira. You don't need this to drag this. You don't need kaitzer to drag kaitzer. Why? Because they're in one awareness. If they're in one awareness, they go together automatically. You don't need them to drag each other. What do you need to drag? You need to go sideways. You need to drag sideways. You need to bring the tchina into ktsira. Ktsira gereres ktsira, utchina gereres tchina. Now once I'm up here, I drag tchina, and then tchina goes downwards and drags the other tchina. So one carbon, look what Avi's doing over there in the chart, one carbon is able to pater all 4 melachos. Hold on, let me see if I can find my pointer for a second. Oh, found it. That was quick, thank you. This will help me. Abai Omar. Sorry, now. Avol noidaloi, next case. This is case number 2. The only difference between these 2 cases, Rabbi Isai, is where he found out. Where was his awareness? Over here in this case, the awareness was about this ktsira that happened that he forgot the malacha. It happened down here instead of happening up here. Now these two are not connected. That's the problem. These two bottom ones are not connected. So Abaye says you travel upwards, go sideways, come down. Rava says you travel upwards, go sideways, but you do not come down. The Gemara explains why. Because that's a double greira. That's schlepping it twice. That's pulling it twice. I have to go up here, carry this. I have to go from Ktsira to Tchina, that's dragging number one. And then I have to go from Tchina to Tchina to drag it again. Double dragging I don't do, says Rava. Let's see inside. Don't worry, if this is too confusing, we're going to a new sugi in 2 minutes. But if his Gidiyah, his awareness happened down here, yes, I could travel upwards to the other Ktsira and pull that in with one carbon. Now, Ktsira and Tchina in this one box always go together. Why? Because he forgot Shabbos. Anything that you do in forgetting Shabbos is one carbon, no matter what. So it's in one box. But it doesn't travel downwards. This carbon does not go downwards. This Tchina, this is opposite the top one, does not go together. So Abaye says not true. Tchina and Tchina go together. So I start over here with one carbon, go upwards, catch this Ktsira, go sideways, catch the Tchina, and go downwards and catch the second Tchina because it has one name. Ask the Gemara. In general, does Rava hold that I could even go sideways? If I bring a carbon on Ktsira, it works for Tchina. That's dragging. He doesn't hold of dragging. If he ate two, now when it comes to chaylev and dam, those things, what's the shear? The shear is always a zayis. So if a person ate 2 olive worths of chaylev, of usr fats in the animal, behelam echad, in one awareness. So like I explained before, if a person eats 1 kezayis chaylev, goes to sleep, eats another kezayis chaylev, goes to sleep, it's in one awareness. He didn't realize his aveira yet. You bring 1 carbon for all the chaylev that he ate. So, and then he was aware that he ate 1. So I have a very nice chart here because it's an interesting case. It goes like this. A person ate 1 kezayis worth of chaylev at what p.m.? 1 p.m. And then he ate another kezayis of chaylev at 2 p.m. No, wrong chart. Avi, wrong chart. The three olive one. Thank you. At 2 p.m., he ate a second kezayis. And at 3 p.m., this is very important to realize what's going on. At 3 p.m., he had an awareness that he ate 1, not 2. His awareness was only, you see the red arrow, only on this guy. Okay. And then he ate a third kezayis, he ate a third olive's worth of chaylev. So look what happens here. The center one is a partner with both of them. The center one could go with 1 p.m. and with 4 p.m. And then he had awareness at 5 p.m. At what? That he ate these 2 guys. So look at this. This is machlokes if, according to Abaye, it doesn't matter. I could bring a carbon on olive at 4 p.m. and that olive patters everything. Why? Because of greira. It drags everything with it. But according to Rava, the only thing that drags everything is the center one, because the center one is related to each one. There was one awareness when he ate 1 and 2 o'clock, because the awareness only happened at 3 p.m. That means 1 and 2 happened together. And then 2 and 4 also happen in one awareness. So if I bring a carbon for the center one, I'm done for everything. But what if I just brought a carbon for olive number 1, chaylev number 1, it only works for chaylev number 2, because those 2 are in one awareness. When did the awareness happen? At 3 p.m. So these are one group. So if I brought for 1, it works for 2, not for 3. And if I brought for 3, it works for 2, but not for 1. Only if I do the center, it works for everything. According to Rava. According to Abaye, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You can bring a carbon on any one of the 3. It works on all 3. Inside, Omar Rava, Hevi carbon al Rishon, if he brought a carbon on the first Aleph, an Aleph at 1 p.m., Rishon v'sheni miskaprim. Then the 1 and 2 are in one group. Shlishi enim miskaprim. But the third one is not its own group. Why? Because there was a new awareness. Look when he became aware. He became aware at 3 p.m. So that stops it. Everything else after 3 p.m. is another group. But there was no awareness on number 2 yet. So 2 and 3 are in the same group. Hey, v'korban al shlishi. But if he brought a carbon on the third one, shlishi u'sheni miskaprim, because 2 and 3 are in one group. Rishon enim miskaper. He doesn't get a kapara number 1. Hey, v'korban al imtzai. But if he brought a carbon on the middle one, miskapru kulam, then everything works because number 2 is related to 1 and 3. So you bring a carbon for number 2. 1 and 3 is also kapara. Abaye Omar afilu hevi carbon alecha mehem miskapru kulam. Abaye says not true. There's a concept called greira. And by doing one, I schlep everything with me. It doesn't matter which one. Now, what about Rava? Obviously, Rava does not hold of greira. We just said Rava holds of greira. We just said that if I bring a carbon for ktsira, it schleps tchina with it. That means greira. According to Rava, how come if I bring a carbon here, it doesn't include number 1? Because there's no greira. Says the Gemara, Basa de Shama Abayo Sabra. Once Abaye taught him this concept of greira, he agrees with it. He agrees with greira. Oh, so what's the obvious question? If Rava agrees to the concept of greira, so how come in this case, when I do ktira, I should go, if I find out over here ktira, this is included because it's one awareness, it schleps to tchina and schleps down. It goes from ktira to tchina, and then it should be goyrer. It should pull the bottom tchina with it, like Abaye says. How come it doesn't work according to Rava? If I hold of greira, how come I can't go from ktira all the way down to tchina? Simple answer: Rava holds of 1 greira, not 2 greiras. In order to get to tchina, I have to invoke this principle of greira twice, and Rava says you can't do it twice. I could go from ktira to tchina according to Rava. That's once. That's doing greira once. To go from tchina to tchina, that's a double greira. You don't do double greira. Okay. Says the Gemara, Yachi tchina nami tigra l'tchina, greira islay, greira the greira leslay. He doesn't hold of 2 greiras. Okay, basically a new sugya now. Milsa de pshita leila Abaye v'Rava me'bayr leila Reb Zera. These are all, I'm telling you, if you focus here and try to remember these sugyas, this will help you for the entire Shas. The Chatzi Shir and the Helem and the Yediyah and the Kapara, these are things that we use in all of Shas. But this is a major, major sugya. This is like where it originates. We just took for granted that both according to Abaye and Rava, if a person didn't realize it's Shabbos and he did Ktsira and Tchina, case number 1 and 2, both have the same case. The first step was he did Ktsira and Tchina, 2 melachas. We took it for granted that if he brought a carbon for Ktsira, it would work for Tchina. Even though they're 2 separate melachas, but the shaygig is 1. He forgot that it's Shabbos. So what's his mistake? His mistake is Shabbos. So he brings 1 carbon and that works for 2 things. Not 100% Pashat according to everybody. That's Abaye and Rava. There's a new shita that says that these guys are not connected. Who's the shita? Milsa de pshitalu la Abaye v'Rava. This concept that greira works together, that you could go from Ktsira to Tchina, is Abaye and Rava. Mibayr le Reb Zera, but Reb Zera wasn't so Pashat about it. The boy Reb Zera, Reb Zera asked Reb Asi. In other words, it's possible that Reb Yirmiyah wasn't so passionate about it. If you look at the phone, you see the bookcase is straight. Okay.
You're good, Eli.
Thank you. Well, you didn't point it out the other day, and I looked at it. It was like literally like this. I was on an angle. It was me. Nobody was here doing it. I set it up, and I thought it was. Just be careful of the Zoom guy. So kotzar v'tochan chatzi gregeres b'shigiga Shabbos uzdoy melachos. Same case that we had over here, but rather than having the full kizayis, the full shir, somebody call. I hope nobody calls. So the mistake was that he forgot that it's Shabbos and ignored the next words. There's other melachas. Ignore that. Vishigas melachas, his shaygig was all the melachas. In other words, can I combine a half a shear that I forgot that it's Shabbos together with a half a shear that I forgot that the malacha is aser? Okay? I don't know how exact the whole shear, but I went into my garden and I cut a half a gregarious, a half a fig's worth of a plant, because I didn't realize that cutting a plant on Shabbos is aser until my son-in-law reminded me, hey, it's Shabbos. I said, okay, I won't do it. And then I hit my head in the wall and I forgot that it's Shabbos. And I went back to the plant and I cut off the rest of the plant because I thought that today is Sunday. Can I combine those two things together? Now, according to what we just learned, now, so hold on a second. It says like this. He did half of the Aveira because he forgot that it's Shabbos. Shigigas Shabbos. The other half was the shogig of the malacha. Malshit starfu. Do they combine? Omarlei chalukim lechatois veloy mitztarfin. Sorry, what I showed you before was a mistake. Let's go back. Why do Abaye and Rava both agree? Abaye and Rava agree that it goes this way. You see what's going on here? Abaye and Rava agree that if I did a ktsira, forget this way. This is pasha, everybody agrees, he goes sideways. Abaye and Rava agree that if I do a ktsira by forgetting that it's Shabbos and a ktsira that I forget that it's the malacha is aser, there's no question that one carbon works on both. Why? Because it's in one awareness. But what's the connection? One is a shogig of Shabbos and one is a shogig of malacha. Yet Abaye and Rava both say they're connected. I can bring one carbon for both. Over here, all of a sudden, the Gemara is asking if I have a half a kazayis over here and a half a kazayis over here, are they connected? And the Gemara says they're not connected at all. The chalak l'chatois. You have to bring different chatois.
Eli,
Yes.
Eli, we got to clarify one more mistake. Bring your chart back up for a second, and look how you spelled malachos and look how I spelled malachos.
Where's malachas? Oh my gosh, not again. This is after, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Tomer corrected me. It's just in my head. Forget about it.
But we ran
Malachos.
on the fly. Look at the version I shared.
Wow. It's a different font, but yeah, beautiful. Givaldig. Okay, Tomer, listen, you can't win with me. By the way, my cup is empty. I'm just saying, I don't know. If anybody's watching, by the way, where's my... I had a bottle of wine here. What happened to my bottle of wine? You moved it. That's the problem. I put it next to me on purpose. Okay, I'm gonna have to waste everybody's time. My son-in-law was trying to hide the bottle of wine from me. You know what we're talking about? Doing the birthdays. If you do the birthday, Joey did the birthday, and then since then a bunch of people did birthdays. So Leon Welcher sent me a bottle of wine, but this is not the one, Leon. Guess what's going on here? A guy knocks on the door. My second cousin, Jonathan Stefansky, knocks on the door. Another bottle of wine. Leon, you see what you started? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing you started here. I'm not hinting to anybody, but my son-in-law has the wine list. There's different wines. Okay, we'll put this back. Yishkoyach. No, it's really heartwarming. Bemet, it's not the wine, and you don't have to go that crazy. Like Tomer Levy brought this thing. It's just the point of feeling appreciated once in a while. It's geschmack that people, that's why I do the emails. I feel appreciated. It's just a letter. That's all it needs. It's not the money. Bemet. Somebody went in Corona, to buy the wine, knocks on my door in the heat. It's literally 100 and something degrees outside. Came and brought me the wine. It's a gesture. It's unbelievable. Shkoyach. I would have said in the beginning of this year, I had it in front of me, I wanted to keep, but he fooled me. So, it's a question. We just said, Chalukim l'chatois, according to this man, the Omar, you cannot combine a half a shear of something that because the person forgot it's Shabbos to a half a shear that the person forgot the malacha. It doesn't go together. We started the sugi that it does go together according to Abaye and Rava. It's pashat that this ktsira of Shabbos and this ktsira of Malacha go together. One carbon goes together. Now ask the Gemara, they don't. But nan, by the
way, Eli, I don't want you to think I'm such a tzaddik that I was the one who picked up your.
It was Tomer. It was for sure Tomer.
It wasn't Tomer, no.
Who was it?
Think about who picked it up. Then.
I don't know. Who's such a medaik? I don't know. I don't know. Who?
Mateh.
Oh, Ishkoyach. He's on. Beautiful. Yeah, Givaldik. Okay, so
He was concerned about your covet. He didn't want you to go
the
to
covet.
my covet.
I know. You're also very concerned about my covet. All right, listen. Everybody's so concerned about my covet. Ishkoyach. I love covet. I know. I love it.
Tomer claims he sent you a text about it.
Who?
Tomer.
He corrected me the first time. I corrected it in the things. It's back in the thing. And I'm back to my old bad habits. All right, now let's go. We're holding a very easy sugyas. So whoever wants to interrupt, it's fine. Keep on going. Says the Gemara like this. If a person ate 2 chalevs, 2 shiurim of chalev in one awareness, what are we talking about? Obviously, there's a big break between them. If there's no break, then it's one achila. What's the break when it comes to food? Chatzi pras. Or pras, I should say. Kedei achilas pras. Pras means half. But a half a loaf, however long it takes you to eat a half a loaf of bread, whatever the shear is, a few minutes, that's the shear. So a guy eats 1 piece of chalev, then he takes a break, eats another piece of chalev. One awareness. How many karbanos does he have to bring? 1. Why? It's within one awareness. Ochal. Is this a chiddush to you? If a person ate dam, which is asim in the raisa, chalev is asim in the raisa, noisar, pigul, he has to bring 4 karbanos. Is that a chiddush? Not really. It's 4 different averos. But they were all within the same period of time. Ochal, chalev, dam, v'noisar, pigul. What's noisar? Leftover, carbon, pigul. If you weren't here by menachas, forget about it. He thought, while he was shechting it, he thought that he's going to eat it outside of its allotted time, because the carbon usually you have to eat it within a day, 2 days, whatever it is. He thought he's going to eat it 3 days later, and then he actually ate it later. He's chayiv karas, but these are all isur deiraisa. Chalev, fat and blood. Let's just talk about 2 things that are simple. Behela mechad in one awareness. Chayiv al kol achas v'achas. Okay, no big chiddush here. And the first case also no big chiddush. I eat 2 pieces of chalev in one awareness and I'm chayiv 1 carbon. So okay, this is simple. I'm chayiv 4 karbanis versus 1 carbon. That's a chumrah that I have with a lot of different types of averis versus 1 aver. However, there's a way that I can make 1 min of chalev more chomer than 4 minim. How? Ooh. This all of a sudden is within the shear of achilas pras. I have to say, it has to be within the shear of kedei achilas pras. So what happened? A guy ate a half a shear. He didn't take a break at all, and then he ate another half a shear. Chayiv. Shalom aleichem. Tremendous chiddush. By the way, how do you eat chalev? You take a bite and you take another bite until you ate the shear. How else could you eat chalev without eating 2 chatzi zeisim one after another within the allotted time? Every time you eat something that's asur, you're always... Is it stopping it, by the way? It stopped the recording? Okay. So nachamal. When I eat a piece of chalev, a steak that's treif, whatever it is, I'm always breaking it down to small pieces. So of course those small pieces are mitzdarif. No big chiddush. But if I do a half a kazayis of blood and a half a kazayis of chalev, they're not mitzdarif. So here's a big difference. If it's one type of isur, the 2 half azaysim are mitzdarif together. If it's 2 separate isurim, they're not mitzdarif together. No big chiddush there. And I asked the question, the Gemara asked the question, what's the chiddush that if a person eats 2 half azaysim of chalev in a half a minute that he's chayiv? I would have, how many have to shove the whole thing down your throat in one shot? Of course you could eat it in 2 halves. And Rish Lakish answers, We're going to see that this answer doesn't really hold out, that it's not where he said it. He said it in something else. Very So here's a tremendous chiddush. If you buy Kentucky Fried Chicken and you buy Chinese chicken that's treif, but they're both chickens, and you eat both of them, you're chayiv 2 korbanos, according to Rabbi Shua. Why? Because one is Kentucky Fried and the other one is Chinese. They're different. If one is broiled and one is, it has to be 2 different, even though it's the same exact food. So again, if I ate Kentucky Fried Chicken and kazayas, and then another Kentucky Fried Chicken kazayas, and then I stopped, I took a nap, and I ate another Kentucky Fried Chicken kazayas, all of them is 1 korban. However, if I did 2 tamchuyim, shnei tamchuyim, one is prepared this way, and the other chicken is prepared the other way, it's 2 separate chatois, 2 averis. So therefore, that's the chiddush here. You asked me what's the big chiddush? Yeah. The half of kazayas was Kentucky Fried Chicken. The other half was Chinese chicken from Panda Express. Those 2, what's the halacha? Oh, let's see. So I would think that they're separate, that they don't combine together. Why would I think that? Because look, if I ate a full kazayas Kentucky Fried Chicken and a full kazayas of Panda Express, I have to bring 2 korbanos. That means they're separate. They're not together. I can't get 1 korban and knock out both. They're completely separate. So if they're completely separate, what if I did half and half? They don't combine. I shouldn't have to bring any korban. But that's a kula. To say that I don't have to bring any korban is a kula. Now I'm using Rabbi Yeshua's trick to get off the hook from a korban. Do I say that? Rabbi Yeshua, 2 foods, make it separate and have to bring 2 korbanos. I would think that I could use Rabbi Yeshua's vart of that two foods are considered 2 korbanos. So therefore, a half of Kentucky Fried Chicken and a half of kazayas of Chinese do not combine for a korban. Bein lekula, komash malon de lekula lo yamar. No, we never said this trick for if it's going to get you off the hook. You do have to bring a korban if they're prepared separately in 2 different dishes, if they're half a shear and you want to get to 1 shear of a kazayas. Ask the Gemara. So what's the Gemara's question? The Gemara's question is based on this whole thing that we just said. According to Rabbi Yeshua, if a person eats 1 kazayas of fried chicken and 1 kazayas of chicken, they're not mitzvah if you have to bring 2 separate animals, each one 2,000 shekel. In other words, they're divided, yet they are mitzvah when they're a half a shear. If you have a half a kazayas and a half a kazayas, even Rabbi Yeshua admits that they come together, you have to bring 1 korban. You just told me that they're not mitzvah. 2 half a shiurim are not mitzvah. Says the Gemara, Amar Lei. So he answers him, it's not true. Rabbi Yeshua never said this halacha. Rabbi Yeshua never said that the mitzdaref. Amar Lei, Mara Reisha Masnilo. You had a big question. What was your question? What's the big chiddush? Why would the Gemara go out of its way and tell me that if a person eats 2 pieces of chaylev that are half the size, half of the shear, a half a kazayas of this, and half of they go together in the mitzdaref? Of course. How in the world are you ever going to get? Okay, if I'm drinking, or I have to drink a revi'is dam, so I'm going to tell you a chiddush. If I drink a half a cup, and then I take a 2-second pause, and I drink another half a cup, ooh, you're chayiv on a revi'is dam. Of course, how else am I going to drink it? It takes time for me to drink a revi'is. You ever drink kiddush in 1 shot? Oh, here's the 2. Those do not look like half a kazesim, but I get the point. Zog the Gemara. So it can't be that that's the pshat. But that's the question. That's why we came up with this whole interesting pshat that's going according to Rabbi Yeshua, and they're prepared differently. No. We're going to go away from that. They're not prepared differently. So if they're not prepared differently, we're going to remain with the problem. So what is the big chiddush? And you know what the Gemara is going to answer? The chiddush is that between eating this half of kazayas, you had an awareness. All of a sudden you realize I did something wrong. And then I ate the other half of kazayas. Oh, that's a tremendous chiddush. That even though I have an awareness in between the 2 half of kazaysim, they still combine. There's a magnet between them. They go together, and I have to bring a korban. Let's see it inside. Mar areisha masnilo v'kashilo. You said this Rabbi Yeshua, you had a kasha. Great. Another Sefer Mastin in law. This whole concept of Rabbi Yeshua saying that prepared two different ways is to bring two karbanos is talking about something else. V'lo kashilon. Now what does it say in the Sefer? Mishnei minin patur. If I take a half a kezayis of blood and I try to combine it with a half a kezayis of chaylev, they don't go together. Oh, what's the chiddush? That's also not a chiddush. They're two different averis. How could I combine two averis? Says the Gemara, tzricha l'meimar. That's not a chiddush that you potter. No, they're not two different averis. It's not blood and chaylev. They're actually one. They're both chaylev. And why do you call it two minim? They're prepared differently. So in other words, the Gemara is going away and saying that Enochanami Rabbi Shua's chiddush, that two things prepared the same way is two averis, goes throughout, even lekula, not like we said before. Rabbi Shua if it's prepared separately, differently, this half of kezayis was fried chicken, and this half was Chinese chicken. They're different, and they don't come together. So now it makes a lot of sense. Rabbi Yeshua is consistent throughout. He says anything that's prepared different cannot combine together. So if I eat a full kezayis of Kentucky Fried Chicken and full kezayis of Chinese, they don't combine. I have to bring two karbanos. And if I eat a half a kezayis of Kentucky Fried Chicken and a half a kezayis of Chinese chicken, they don't combine. And how many karbanos did I bring? 0, because they don't combine. But we have to go back to the question. The question was, then what is the big chiddush that if I eat a half a kezayis of chaylev and a half a kezayis of chaylev in one awareness, then I'm chayav one carbon. Of course, I ate a half a kezayis, and at the end of the day, I ate a whole kezayis. Why shouldn't I bring a carbon? Let's turn the page. Obviously, we're talking about one dish prepared one way. So then what is the chiddush, Rabbi Sai, that I'm chayiv to bring a carbon? Amazing. We discussed an awareness, and then I have a yediyah. I understood that what I'm doing is wrong. You know when a yediyah stops and starts a whole new avera? When this yediyah causes me to bring a carbon. When the yediyah is powerful. So if I ate a whole kezayis, and then I had a yediyah, I had an awareness that what I did is wrong, and now I have to bring a carbon, and then I did another avera afterwards, I'll bring a second carbon. But over here, all I ate was a half a kezayis. Knowing that I did an avera on a half a kezayis does nothing for me. I don't have to bring a carbon. Right? So unbelievable. It's a tremendous chiddush. You hear this chiddush? A person ate a half a kezayis of chaylev. He had an awareness that what he did is wrong, and then he ate another half a kezayis. This klutz went ahead and ate another half a kezayis. After he found out that it's also, he ate another half. So I would think they don't combine. Why? Because he had an awareness in between. They do combine. When does an awareness not combine things? When the awareness causes you to bring a carbon beforehand. But this awareness doesn't cause me to bring a carbon because it's only on a half a kezayis. Gamliel holds that knowing and finding out that you didn't have air doesn't work on something that's half a shear. Next sugya. No. Let's see who's on for a second. Let's take a quick break. Avi Mandelbaum somehow got to the second screen. Not sure why. Oh, David. Shalom Aleichem, David. Nehemiah Seltzer's on. Beautiful. David Fine. Really? David Fine is on. That's Rabbi Fine from, I didn't chap, that's Rabbi Fine's brother from Lincolnwood. Beautiful. And Jonathan Baden, we're going to play ball soon. Don't worry, Jonathan. Who else? Okay, Givaldik. All my good friends. Okay. Quick break. Rabbi Nachum Katz, how's it going in the sugi? Rabbi Isai, we're holding. Easy stuff, mamish easy stuff. Okay, Itmar. If a person ate, you think it's going to last forever, the sugya? You should enjoy it while it lasts. A person ate two chalevs in one awareness. We already decided. If you eat, it doesn't matter how many kizaysim you eat of one thing that's also in one awareness, you bring always one carbon, it's one awareness. But he only realized that the first zayis that he ate is aser. He only realized that the first one. So here we have a big machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish. Will take us to basically to the bottom of the page. Again, what happened? He ate two zaysim. Typically, in one awareness, chayiv one carbon. But what happened here is it's different than a regular case because he had an awareness, did I say awareness? A yediyah, knowledge. Not this word, not helem, a yediyah. Helem means an awareness. If it all happened in one awareness, you bring one carbon. But what happens if in the middle of his awareness, there was a yediyah, in the middle of his yediyah knowing that he did something awesome. So, okay, in one awareness he ate two kizesim. That's fine. But then his yediyah happened only on one of those two kizesim. And they had a second yediyah on the second kizayis. How many karbanos should he bring now? Do we base it on his yediyah? On his knowledge that he did an Isser and he has to bring two karbanos because he had two knowledges? Or do we base it on something else? Perhaps we base it on afrasha, on designating the animal. Or perhaps we go even further. It's based on kapara. David Fine, you don't have to answer me. Just shake your head yes or no. Is this your first time on Zoom with us? No, okay. First time I'm noticing you. There's a few fines. There's another fine right next to you. Here, there's his name is spelled differently. Tzvi Fine, F-E-I-N. All right. Don't tell your brother anything about what goes on here. It's Seder. It's between me and you. So again, the big question here, the big machlokes, and we don't even know what the machlokes is. We're going to go through the sugya. What causes the carbon? Is it the yediyah? Is it knowing that what I did is aser, and that knowledge was only out of one out of the two zaysim? Or perhaps it's the hafrasha. It's bringing or designating, setting aside a carbon. Or perhaps it's the kapara, shechting that carbon. And once I shech the carbon, then it has no power over other averis that I did that I didn't know about. The carbon is dead already. What is it? Which one of these? So that's the sugya. Rabbi Yochanan says he's chayiv two because he had two knowledges. Rish Lakish says no, you chayiv one. Now the Gemara is going to explain where their argument is, or try to explain it. Rabbi Yochanan Amar chayiv why al chatasai. Chatasai is singular. I'm chayiv for each and every chet he did. He ate two kizesim of chaylev, and there was a knowledge on one, I bring a carbon on that one. Knowledge on the second one, bring a second carbon on that one. Rish Lakish Amar Patur Meichatasoi. From the chatos, from his sin, v'nislach. All I need to do is have knowledge on one, it patters them all. So Rish Lakish says one carbon for both. Rish Lakish Hoksiv Achatose Vehevi. What is Rish Lakish going to do with Rabbi Yochanan's pasuk that I bring a chatos on each and every one? Remember this, Rabbi Isai. What's his answer? Hahu la'acha kapara. Rish Lakish says, after all the steps are taken, and then all of a sudden I realize I ate another piece of chaylev. Well, it's too late. The animal's dead. I already ate its meat. I can't go retroactive and say, that animal that I brought yesterday and I shechted it yesterday should work on the chaylev that I found out today. It doesn't work like that. I have to have prior knowledge. So remember these words. Rish Lakish says that Rabbi Yochanan's pasuk Achatase goes on when it's all over, done, after kapara. Why doesn't, let me ask you right now, so I'll tell you the trick of the Gemara. Why doesn't Rish Lakish say, you know what the pasuk is going on? After he's mafresh. After he designated it. Why doesn't he jump all the way to after he shechted it? Obviously, the Gemara understands right now that designating doesn't do anything. Who cares if he designated it? I could still use that carbon for as many averes as I want. Once I shechted, it's too late. That's why the Gemara said he shechted it. From that alone, I could stop here and understand that Rish Lakish, according to these Chachamim that explain Rish Lakish, It's not Rish Lakish talking. It's the Chachamim in the yeshiva say, oh, he's talking. You asked me a good kasha. What does Rish Lakish do with the pasuk? Oh, he throws it for when after shechting. Why did he say he's using it after he designated it? Because after designation, it's not too late. I could use that carbon for two things. Says the Gemara Vayter. And what is Rabbi Yochanan going to do with Rish Lakish's pasuk mechatosai? Only from the chatos. We lost a guy or two. It's in the Nari volume. We're down to 98 people. What's going on here? Well, there's two people that didn't understand what's flying. Shem Yirachem. There must have been young children. This is a very simple sugya. Everybody should be with us. Wow. Comes the Gemara. Baruch Hashem. I did this on Motzei Shabbos, so forgive me if it's not 100%. But look what's going on here. It's beautiful. He ate a kezayis and a half in one awareness. At 1 p.m. he ate 1.5. And then he's noida. At 2 p.m. he realized, oops, I did an aveira. I ate chaylev. Then at 3 p.m., after this idea, 3 p.m. he ate a half a kezayis. You see how nicely they are? They could combine together. You want to combine them together. Do they combine together? And then he had an awareness. Oh, and a very big point that I just missed. His awareness at 2 p.m. was only for one kezayis. You see the arrow? It goes dafka for one kezayis. So now this half a kezayis doesn't have an awareness, and this guy doesn't have an awareness. And then he had a final knowledge at 5 p.m. Question. Could I combine these two guys together? Logically, you would say, why not? They both happened in one knowledge. The awareness that he did in Aveira happened together. Let's put them together and bring one carbon for them. No. Says Rabbi Yochanan, Meichatasai. Listen to this amazing chiddush. You hear, Hillel, what's going on here? Hillel, you hear? Meichatasai. If I have unbelievable chiddush, you would never think about this yourself. Since I'm bringing a carbon on this one olive that I thought about and I knew about at 2 p.m., that includes the half a olive as well. Meichatasai. Why? Because it's a half a shear. You hear Gershon? All I see on my thing is the chashuvim. Gershon? I don't know how Yeshua, Avi, Gershon, Hillel. Oh, Avigdor. You must be also from the top guys, top cats. You're part of that. I'm going to put you on the thing. You're the Balabasa Zoom. That is not even a shayla. There's no machlekes in that. You're on first, you're off last, you're the Balabasa Zoom. Fine. So anyway, you hear what's going on here? Even though we only had knowledge on one kezayis, that one kezayis includes this half a kezayis. And therefore, I cannot combine these two half a kezayisim. They do not combine. Meichatasai. Am I right, Avigdor? Am I just making this up? I'm right. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara inside, he heard about, he ate 1.5. But the Yediyah Noida was only on 1, not the 1.5, only on 1 out of the 1.5. And then in one awareness, he ate another half, so now I have a whole. I would think they should combine together and bring one carbon for the two halves. Not. Why not? Because Mechatose tells me that since I'm bringing a carbon on one kezayis, that includes the half a kezayis. Now, Rabbi, I didn't want to tell you before the shir started, but I will tell you now. This must be the hardest daf in Shabbos that I've learned so far. I don't want to tell you before the shir because then I would have really scared you, whatever. But it's very difficult. So if you're finding a difficulty in having that, this is up there in the hard, not stam hard in Shabbos, hard in general in Shas. Okay, now that I told you that secret, let's finish up the daf. Now, what's going on here? Says the Gemara, where are we exactly? Oh, I think I even missed the whole chart. Here, I'll just show you because I think I missed the chart. It could have worked later. A half a shear and a half a shear of Chatzi Gergeres. And Shigas Shabbos and Shigas Malacha. Fine. Different time. I only spent 5 minutes on it. It's not a big deal. Okay, here. So again, the question is, where exactly is the machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish? What's the question again? What's the shaila? A person ate 2 kizeisim of chaylev, 1 and 2. And then his awareness, he became aware that what he's doing is asur between 1 and 2. And then he had another awareness on number 2. Does 1 carbon work for both or not? Rabbi Yochanan says that 1 carbon does not work. Rish Lakish says 1 carbon works for both. But where was the idea? What causes the break? Where's the cutoff? Where's the cutoff point? Amalei Ravina Rav Ashi. Now who's Ravina Rav Ashi? The people, the 2 Amoraim that wrote Shas, they were almost the last Amoraim. They're like in the almost the last generation. And they were asking each other, what's going on here with Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish? Where was their argument? Did the awareness happen before the guy designated a carbon? And I'll explain to you the machlokes, the marsover, yediyas machlokes. Just knowledge, just blue, is enough to divide and separate and say, hey, you have to bring another carbon. Umarsover afroshis machlokes. And Rish Lakish will say, no, designated carbon breaks it. It becomes something new. I have to bring a new carbon after I designate it. But anything before the designation is all included in 1 carbon. And that's why according to Rish Lakish, I just bring 1 carbon. But once I'm mafresh, then once I designate a carbon green, says Rish Lakish, it's all over. Now if I'm aware of another thing I did, you have to bring another carbon. It's too late because I already designated my carbon. And you have to bring 2. Or let's step it down. Let's go much further. Yediyah is nothing. It's afrasha and maybe kapara. Not yediyah and afrasha, but rather afrasha and kapara. We're just taking it down 1 step. Same exact thing, but sliding it down. What's the machlokes? Is the marsav afroshis mechalkos. Rabbi Yochanan says once I designated it, I have to bring another carbon. Marsav are not true. Designation is nothing. Rish Lakish holds kaparis mechalkos. I have to wait all the way to the kapar. Once I shecht it, then it's too late. But anything before shechita, I bring 1 carbon and it patters me from everything. But wait a minute. But before hafrasha, then even Rabbi Yochanan admits that yediyah is nothing. Okay, and now because we just slid downwards, so yediyah is nothing according to Rish Lakish, according to this Rabbi Yochanan, according to this pshat in the Gemara. Maybe the machlokes is everywhere. Yediyah is a hefsek, hafrosh is a hefsek. It's everything. I can prove to you that they argue in everything. We're almost finished. We're just going to go through the little bit of a cheshbon here. Because if, in fact, they argue before designation, if Riv Shlokish is moeded to Rabbi Yochanan, that the cutoff point is designation, and I pointed out this question when we learned it before, remember all the way in the beginning of the sugya, the Gemara asks, what does Rav Shlokish do with this pasuk al chatasai? It's talking about after he killed the animal. But why does he have to jump all the way here? He should have said it's talking about after you designate the animal. The answer is because designation is nothing according to Rav Shlokish. You have to shech the animal, and then there's a problem. And if so, I prove to you that the mechulik on both things. Why? And if they only argue after designation, if Rabbi Yochanan agrees to Rish Lakish that yediyah, just an awareness, just a knowledge, is 0, and you have to at least designate an animal, so rather than saying this whole funny case, this case that we said before, Adamaike, meaning the Chachamim in the yeshiva who try to explain what Rabbi Yochanan does with the pasuk Mechatasa, and they came up with a whole elaborate scheme that a guy ate 1.5 and he only had a yediyah on 1, and then he added another half. Why do you have to go so far? Just say Adamaike la Kra, because I like me called them Afrasha. say that Rabbi Yochanan admits before designation, one carbon patters everything. Meichatasai. You ask me, what does he do with the meichatasai? In a case, before designation, I could bring one carbon for everything. One carbon patters everything. That's the word meichatasai. All I need is one carbon for all the chatas. For a little bit of the chatas, for a little bit of the avera, patters all the averas. Says the Gemara, not a good raya, and we'll finish off with this. Maybe the Chachamim in Yeshiva had no idea, and they remain with the question. They don't know what Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish were arguing on, and all they were saying is, it's an intim taloima kind of thing. Intim taloima kamar. Intim taloima, if you say that the machlokes is koydem afrasha pligiba, Rabbi Yochanan nechemuk lekra because I mechza. If the whole machlokes is before the designation, then obviously Rabbi Yochanan has to say that the pasuk is talking about this funny case. Vitim taloima lacha afrasha pligi, and we still don't know. But let's say that the machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish is after designation. Rosh Lakish nechemuk lekra, and how's Rosh Lakish going to use Rabbi Yochanan's pasuk? B'lacha kapara. After he shechted it. In other words, the reason why we have after shechting and we have before or after designation is because the Chachamim didn't know where the machlokes was. So they came up with this elaborate scheme and they came up with this thing. And Bekitzer, they don't know. So the bottom line is we don't know where Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish are arguing. All we know is that they have a machlokes. If somebody eats one kazayis chaylev and then another kazayis chaylev, and then he was aware between the two kazaysim, how many korbanos do you bring? According to Rabbi Yochanan, you bring 2. According to Shlokish, we bring 1. And we don't know if it's because they designated the carbon or because they actually shechted the carbon. We don't know. Rabbi Isai, you did very well. Look, there's still 96 people online. I'm surprised. I'm telling you, it's one of the toughest dafim. At least for me, to explain it was very tough. Baruch Hashem, I was able to get this drawing out Motzei Shabbos between Avdallah and Shir, even though Jonathan Stefansky came and kind of surprised me with the wine, but it was beautiful. And now Avi Kamiansky is going to do a little tehillim for us. Yishkoyach, have a good vach tomorrow, 7:15. Shalom Alois.
Amazing. I wanted to know and I bring someone on Shabbos from someone in RBS to the shir is it mutter?
Yes. Okay, it's a great shaila. Don't hit it. No, not yet. It's a very good shaila, Yeshua. I like your shaila. Like it. You hear Yeshua shaila? He's allowed to be Michal Shabbos for the shir. Yeshua wants to know he's allowed to be Michal Shabbos for the shir. So I want to paskin here, Barabim. He's 100% allowed to drive people to the shir on Shabbos. For him, it's a shaila of pikuach nefesh. Only for him. He's so involved. He could drop dead without being Michal Shabbos. So I say yes.
A lot of background noise.
There's a lot of background noise. Good Davach, everybody. Leon, geschmack to see you. Good Davach. Who's that? Akiva Stolway? I hear your voice. I don't see your face. Who? Good Davach. Hold on for the questions for a little bit. Hold on.
Someone's walking and on Zoom and it's disrupted.
We hear you, Yeshua. Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason. Okay. Anybody have any shilas? Eli, where are you during the week? Eli Kamiansky, where are you during the week? There's no excuses, Eli. There's no excuses. Don't think I don't notice. Don't think.
No, unlike my big Shemesh brethren, school started here in Florida, so I'm adjusting to the schedule.
Nah, school started here also, please. No excuses. School, Shmuel, we got to do the daf. Really?
I was here, yeah.
All right. Avi.
Max was asked earlier if he was going to send his kids back to school, and he said absolutely not.
Right. I'm not sending my kids yet. I'm not sending my kids yet. Avi Mendelbaum, the neshama should have an aliyah. Yishkoyach, thank you.
I very much appreciate it, as does my father and my uncle and aunt and grandmother.
I hope you didn't. You weren't upset that I didn't read the whole email. It was just too long. It's like I didn't want to bore people.
Not upset at all. I greatly appreciate what you read. And just to correct one thing that you did say, it's not me who sponsored. It was my parents.
No, I thought I was being clear about it. I understood that. If it came out wrong, it's fine. I mean, I read it here. It says specifically on this thing that it's by Aaron Naomi Mandelbaum and Francis Mandelbaum. Yeah, got it. Shkoyach. Yes. Yeah. What's your? He knows how to talk, David Kornbluth. No.
Hello.
Yeah. Shavuot Tov. Good Tov. What's going on?
Doesn't make any difference when the deer comes.
What?
The korban for the avila. The korban is like a photo for the avila. It doesn't make any nafkamina if you have a deer in the middle of the end. Yeah.
What do you mean nafkamina? It has to. The carbon has to come for one. It has to come from awareness. Once the carbon is done, time out. If you bring a carbon on Sunday, you bring the carbon, is gone, and then you do another avera on Monday. Do you have a kapara or not?
But then you put the avera.
What's he wearing? Rabbi said, what's David wearing? Anybody know what he's wearing?
Nothing.
Something underneath. I don't know.
Are you wearing a shell? Maybe you're wearing a shell.
I'm like I'm shooting by the hand. Keep your eyes open.
Hold on, David. Are you at least wearing a yarmulke? Where's the yarmulke? Okay, he's wearing. All right, beautiful. So once you bring the carbon, you're masking that there's no kapara. Back, you can't go backwards. You can't go retroactive.
What the korban is like the Ken Zayn. I'm not.
Ken Zayn. Okay.
Ken Zayn.
Really, Ken Zayn. You have a havamina that if I bring a carbon today, I can do averis tomorrow for the rest of my life, and that carbon that I brought today is going to go for the future also. You think that? No. Obviously, you're not masking to that, right?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That even if you did 10 averas on Shabbos,
Yeah.
you put a korban on Sunday, you only remembered after you put the korban.
So I'm asking you, what is the difference? What?
Shouldn't that korban?
Because what is the difference if I shechted the carbon or designated the carbon? Or even known about the Avera. Maybe Yediyah is enough to be Mechalik. There's such a concept. Once I know about an Avera, we're going to have it tomorrow. Amazing. You're going to love the sugya of Baal, a Shifcha Charufa 5 times. He brings a carbon in the middle and he says, wait a minute, let me be boiled one more time so it works. My carbon works on that. Does that make sense to you? I could do another Avera after I thought about the carbon? Oh, it's going to be an amazing sugi tomorrow. Dave, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, Rabbi Isai, guess what? I have to prepare tomorrow's daf. After all this. Wow, it's 10:30 already. Unbelievable. What about the 8-minute daf? You have to go. I'm going to go record now, even though I don't want to, because I have to prepare tomorrow's daf. All right.
Before you go,
Yeah.
Torah comes Zrikat Adam, and now with tape.
What? I don't hear.
Kapara comes with Zrikat Adam, and now with Tita.
Right. Okay. I just threw it out there, not to confuse everybody. Kapara, you get it. You got it. You were there with us. Well, you learned. But yeah, Yishkoyach. You kapara this, but. By the way, once you shech the animal, I'm pretty sure, even though you don't get a kapara, I'm pretty sure it's done. You can't use that animal after shechita. I have to look it up. You're right. The word kapara means after zrik and everything, but I think it even means once you shecht it, it's too late. But I'll look it up. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Isai.
You explained it very well.
But how did it work? It was a tough sugya, no? It was really tough.
Except for making us all feel like idiots because you told us it was an easy sugya.
Yeah, that was my point. So Avigdor, I saw you concentrating. Because look, if I start this shit and say, look, it's one of the hardest daf in Shas, you're gonna just check out. I know you. But now you're like, wait a minute, this is easy? Everybody's understanding besides me. Let me start concentrating. I got you to understand the hardest daf in Shas, maybe. No, it's not the hardest daf, but it's a really tough daf.
Something about that last case. The last case when you ate a kazayas and a half.
Yeah.
And whether that half of kazayas can combine with the second kazayas that came later.
Yeah.
What's the havamina that you would be able to do that? A kazayas is a minimum.
Yeah.
If you ate a kazayas and a half, of course that's one unit, and the other half of kazayas that you ate later, of course that's separate.
No, Lauren, no. It's not one unit because his yediyah, his knowledge was only on one kazayas. So that separates the 1.5. They're not one unit. The yediyah for the half.
And a half, but he only had a yediyah on one kazayas?
There were two different pieces. One was a kazayas, one was a half. The idea that the one
Let me show you. Let me explain to you. His yediyah was over here just for one kazayas. Not for this piece. That's why he drew the line here. The awareness at 5 p.m. is an awareness for these two. That's why these two should be. The adarabba, to say the havamina the other way is much bigger chiddush. The knowledge, you're right, the achila was one unit, but the knowledge, the yediyah, knowing when it happened, that what he did was asur, was only on this part. And that's why it breaks it. It breaks the kazayis and the half. Oh, Rabbi Feder, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in 2 months. How are you? It was Kedai. Thanks, Lauren, because of you, I got to see Rabbi Feder. I actually saw him in the street when I was davening mincha, but I couldn't. Yes.
Eli, important, very important. If someone has sugar that is Shabbos, so he knows he was over one malacha many times. He only has to bring one korban, right?
Yeah.
Because there's one sugar Shabbos.
Yeah.
But let's say whatever stage, he remembers he did a second malacha. But he already had Yediyah on the first malacha, so that one korban, that's not going to be put to him for the other malachas?
Absolutely not. Of course not. It's a whole new mistake. It's a brand new mistake because he already had a Yediyah Shabbos.
But why is Yediyah...
Oh, we got to shut this off. Sorry. Sorry.